keys from the reject cup, which is located on the lower right side of the jukebox. The cash box drawer, oh, sorry folks, I gotta go into quicker.
Okay, go again.
Okay.
Oops.
Next, remove the keys from the reject cup, which is located on the lower right side of the jukebox. The cash box drawer and coin reject lever are located there also. Using the master key marked Wurlitzer 1, insert into the door lock located on the left side of the machine and open the door. If your machine has been delivered in cold weather, 32 degrees or colder, leave it sit overnight. Completely remove the two carriage bolts holding the mechanism down. Remove the tone arm tie. Store the tone arm tie and the bolts in the bottom of the machine for future use. Unwind the electrical cord and plug in. Turn on the power with the switch located on the back. Also located on the back is the record reject button and the volume control. The control on the left is the volume control. The one on the right is only used for special applications. Consult your owner's manual. Unwind the electrical cord and plug in. Turn on the power with the switch located on the back. Also located on the back is the record reject button and the volume control. The control on the left is the volume control. The one on the right is only used for special applications. Consult your owner's manual. When the power is turned on, the record carousel will rotate twice and stop. Remove the title strip holder. Insert title strips.
Let's do it again.
Sorry, I didn't see it started.
Go ahead, Dave.
Insert title strips. Replace the title strip holder.
Okay.
The lever mounted on the top of the mechanism when pressed will allow the carousel to rotate. Start loading records in the carousel starting with selection 101. Continue until all 50 records are loaded.
Okay.
When you receive your machine, it will be on coin play. If you do not have a coin, open the door. A credit button is located inside. When you press this button, it will act as if you had inserted a coin. You also have the option to put it on free play. You can do this by going to the Selection and Credit computer. A jumper wire, which is included in your service bag, should be inserted in the GP row, one end in 0, the other end in F. Then press the LT button. The machine is now on free play. If you want to return to coin play, remove the jumper wire, then press the LT button. You are back on coin play. Because this is a computer, power must be on when you make these changes. Now your jukebox is ready for play. Now your jukebox is ready for play. Now your jukebox is ready for play. The bass and treble adjustment are located on the amplifier inside.
To remove a lower plastic or a lower button, to undo some castings on the side, one, and unlower the knee, unloosen the knee down at the bottom. We do this all from the inside, and we're going to go to the inside of the door now and look at where these need to be unfollowed.
When removing the cage, the turning cylinder cage, you should use a Phillips screwdriver. These two sizes are the best. If you have a magnetic Phillips, that's even better. When removing the cylinder, turning cylinder and its holder, you have to remove 3 Phillips screws. One located here, one located there, and one located right in there. After the screws have been removed, you lift the cage holder out of the turning motor and slide this turning cylinder off the holder. Then all you need to do is to move this aside so that you have access to your plastic. Move the plastic trim. There are 3 screws here, Phillips style, and one down here that you remove. There are also three located here, and as you remove these, you lift the trim away from the
The
plastic.
door, the disassembly is the same. Since we've already partially disassembled the left side of the door, we're now photographing that side, so if the camera angle looks different, it's because we are on the other side of the door, but the disassembly procedure, the screw locations are always same. Now we're going to zoom in on the screws that need to be loosened and so that the motor assembly turns the color cylinder. That motor assembly has to be taken out so that we have access to the 4 screws that hold the knee on. And with the motor assembly in place, we don't have access to those screws, so we will go ahead and unscrew that motor assembly now.
So we've partially removed some of the screws already. The screws that you'll need to remove are located here, and then you'll need the short Phillips to get at the one located here, and then there will be 2 located down below, one here, and another one located over here. After the screws have been removed, you should be able to slide the knee down and off. The plastic is a tongue and groove plastic that will just come out, just like so. To assume, if we assume this was a broken bubble tube, this is how we would remove it. Slide it off, and then you can slide it right out of the holder. Plastic. On the right-hand side, there's a groove. You slide it in the groove, into position, and then squeeze the plastic very lightly, and it'll just pop into place.
Now we're going to slide the knee in place. Would help to have an extra pair of hands here, one person on the outside to slide in place while the person inside adjusts everything and starts putting the screws in.
Is in position, you then replace the screws, one here, one over here, one here, and one over here. The same
Step is we're going to put the 3 outside trim pieces back on. The other 2 trim pieces on the outside, we're going to put this plastic piece on the inside. And we're doing this next in case there needs to be any adjusting of the plastics done. In a second.
We take the turning cylinder motor and line the holes back up from where you took them off. Use a magnetic screwdriver and set the first screw in. And take your next screw. Hold your bracket in position. Now you can tighten them both down. Take the cylinder and slide it over the cylinder holder. And at the bottom, you have to hit the center hole. Make sure that the little wheels, that this is behind the little wheels at the top, like so. Move it very carefully back into position. That extended piece on the bottom of the cage down into the hole on the motor mounting plate. Then you align turning cylinders, holder, use a magnetic screwdriver. Don't tighten. In order to change the upper dome or one of the bubble tubes, first you should remove the light diffuser and the selection bracket. There are 4 machine screws and 3 wood screws that hold that bracket in. The bracket. The inner diffusers that are up against the bubble tubes in the plastic, just simply take from the bottom and pull it out, and then just slide it out of the machine.
And there's one on each side.
There's one on each side.
Okay.
Remove the upper arch first. You take the plastic castings and remove that upper casting from this screw, and that screw on the right side, that screw, and this screw, and remove the upper castings. Next, we will remove the W castings by taking out the screws located here, and here, and here, and here. Then remove the castings. Will be the castings that will be coming off. With these castings removed, the dome is now one single piece that goes all the way across. In order to remove that, you start to pull it out from its groove and work your way across until it's released from the groove in the back, and then lift the plastic out. To put the dome back into its position, you simply reverse the procedure. You put the dome in, you squeeze the dome in. You then put your castings back on and put your inner diffusers back inside the plastic. That's about it. Oh. And mount it back inside the door, just as you took it, same way you took it out, you put it back in and put the 4 machine screws and the 3 wood screws back in. Bubble tube from the upper arch, remove the diffuser and the title strip holder bracket.
And you've already showed us how to do that earlier in the film.
Bubble tube, simply remove both of these screws, which will release the tube from the holder. Pull the tube up, so be sure that you clear everything. Pull it up so that it slides out of the bubble tube heater. Then very carefully maneuver the bubble tube out of the machine.
Now I noticed the other inner tubes, I'm sorry, the outer tubes are held in place by a piece of plastic. What do? We just cut those loose?
You have to cut where they've got the electrician's tape on the top of the tube. You cut that off. To move the outer tube or outer upper bubble tube, you cut the electrician's tape that is used to tape the end of it down. Remove the screws that are holding the tube to the bracket, and again, very carefully, slide the tube forward, removing it from the bubble tube heater. Place a bubble tube back in the machine. You reverse the process. You very carefully place your bubble tube inside the arch. You very carefully slide it down into the bubble tube heater. Do not force it. Slide it down very carefully. Once it's seated in the bubble tube heater, then attach your bubble tube holder to the bracket and secure it. To install an infrared volume control, first you install the infrared receiver into the bracket at the top of the dome. Wire connected to the infrared receiver and just wind it through. The telecontrol, which determines the starting volume level when you first turn on the machine. It's attached right here. Put it into one side of the telecontrol. Screw it in so that it's tight enough to hold the unit in place. Lift the unit up until it's even straight across. Then take a starter nail, hold it in position, take a hammer and just tap enough to get a starter hole going. Take a wood screw, put it in the hole, place it in the starter hole you made with the nail. Additional wiring piece that you hook up to your infrared cable that's underneath the dome, and then you will then take and plug it into the telecontrol. Now, because you have additional wire here, what you do is you fold some of it down between one of the restraining pieces and just pull it through like so. In order to rid yourself of the excess, is to pull the wire in, put it behind the restraining straps. The cabling from the telecontrol, and you go over to your amplifier and pull out the remote control, volume control. This is the cable that's associated with your volume control on the back. You remove that, and you plug the infrared volume control in its place. Again, with the excess cable, you tuck it in behind the restraining straps. Now you set your telecontrol to whatever volume level you want your jukebox to be at when you first start playing music.
And you'll just have to shut the machine on and off a couple times to
Begin to understand how
begin
the
to understand
functions.
how it works and
Yeah.
functions.
Right. But now you're ready to go ahead and start to play music using the remote volume control.
And do you have that, Dick? Have the remote, Dick.
I certainly do. And your remote requires a 9-volt battery. And that does not come with your unit. You normally have to buy that yourself.
Okay.
So, in order to put the battery into the control, you simply slide off the cap, drop it on the floor, pull out the cable, connect it to the battery, slide the battery back in, make sure that the wires get in there properly.
Otherwise, the
And
battery-
you should be ready to start.
Gee, that was simple, Dick. Thank you.